Committed to bringing you up-to-the-minute news on local and international maritime trade, this is Nimasa This Week. Hello and welcome. My name is Iresiola Doyle. Now, it is no longer in doubt that Nimasa is 150% committed to ensuring security on Nigerian territorial waters. And throughout times, they have sought inter-agency partnerships to achieve this goal. First, it was with the Nigerian Navy, and more recently with the Nigerian Air Force. Now, this partnership was achieved through the signing of a Memorandum of Understanding, which took place at the Nigerian Air Force headquarters in Abuja. We have that report for you now.
Nimasa has once again expanded the scope of the agency's strategic alliance with relevant security agencies in carrying out its mandate of securing Nigeria's maritime domain. On Monday, the 26th of August, the agency signed a Memorandum of Understanding with the Nigerian Air Force at the force's headquarters in Abuja. The Nimasa delegation to the MOU signing ceremony was led by the Director General, Mr. Ziakede Patrick Akpobolokemi, who was accompanied by some members of the agency's management team. Upon their arrival at the Nigerian Air Force headquarters, they were met by the Chief of Air Staff, Air Marshal Alex Bade, and other senior officers of the force. The Nimasa DG seized the opportunity of the occasion to praise the High Command of the Air Force for seeing the need to cooperate with Nimasa in carrying out the agency's onerous responsibilities.
Nimasa appreciates your effort in bringing peace in Nigeria. Nimasa also appreciates the fact that we are going to benefit wonderfully from you. Today, the formal coming together of the Nigerian Air Force and the Nigerian Maritime Administration and Safety Agency will send a very, very clear message to those that are organizing our maritime domain by their acts, various acts of criminality, piracy, or other acts, that their days are gone. Our act has given us some privileges and rights of aerial surveillance. We felt the Air Force is in a better position to do these things. If we have a government agency that is already legally empowered to do this, why do we duplicate our efforts? Why can't we deepen the partnership, provide the necessary logistics for them, give them the necessary motivation, so that if it is search and rescue, if it is major combat operation in air, the Air Force can be mobilized to do that.
On his part, the Chief of Air Staff, Air Marshal Alex Bade, reiterated the need for government agencies to synergize to meet the nation's strategic, economic, and security objectives.
I can tell you that I'm a very, very happy man today, having come to this high point to say that we are going to put pen to paper to formalize our working very closely together. There are so many ships, trying to dash into our waters, come and take whatever they want to take and run away. And I think it's high time we put our hands together, we rose up as one body in order to drive these people away, because I don't think there's any nation in the world where people can just dash into your waters very close to your land, take your assets and go away for free. I want to thank all of us, Nimasa and the Nigerian Air Force, for this one project, and our one project is Nigeria's maritime resources, which we must protect, and we must allow Nigeria to benefit from its own resources.
The Director General and the Chief of Air Staff both initiated the historic documents. The MOU encourages the Nigerian Air Force to provide air tactical support for sea-based operations against illicit operations of ships. Nimasa and the Nigerian Air Force are to collaborate on the broad areas of intelligence, surveillance, reconnaissance, search and rescue operations, tactical airlifting, and enforcement against piracy, smuggling, illegal bunkering, and illegal fishing. This will help tackle notable challenges militating against safe and secure shipping in Nigeria, which include limited assets to monitor and enforce maritime laws, rising incidences of piracy and armed robbery at sea, illegal ship-to-ship transfer of oil in Nigerian waters, illegal fishing, and limited data on both fixed and floating facilities moored in Nigerian waters.
Tune into our show, same time, same station next week, where we bring you a more detailed report on this brand new working partnership between Nimasa and the Nigerian Air Force. History was made recently in the maritime sector with the commissioning of two 45,000 metric ton vessels. The management of ocean marine tankers attracted the creme de la creme of the Nigerian maritime sector to Warri Delta State as they commissioned MT Abiola and MT Ibinosa, two seagoing vessels that would definitely boost the local content of our maritime sector.
The end appeared to be in sight for the monopoly enjoyed by foreign flag vessels in the affringement of Nigerians' crude oil, as indigenous ownership of vessels in the country has taken a new dimension. The port city of Warri in Delta State was agog on Friday, 23rd of August, as Ocean Marine Tankers Limited formally commissioned two seagoing vessels, MT Abiola and MT Ibinosa, each with a capacity of 45,000 metric tons. The Chief of Naval Staff, Chief Executives of government parastatals, captains of the maritime industry, amongst others, were on hand to witness history in the oil city of Warri. The Director General of the Nigerian Maritime Administration and Safety Agency, Nimasa, Mr. Ziakede Patrick Akubulekemi, was the guest of honor at the occasion and could not hide his excitement at the commissioning of the two vessels. He noted that both vessels flying the Nigerian flag is a source of pride for the Nigerian nation.
I'm quite appreciative to the leadership of this company. They've demonstrated capacity. They've demonstrated love and patriotism for our beloved country. And what is left for us is to give them the enabling environment, the support they need, the prayers they desire, so that they can successfully become a multinational company today and tomorrow. I got excited when I heard that about 1,000 Nigerians are employed by this company, which means if we have 3, 4, 5 of these in the maritime sector owned by Nigerians, we can significantly reduce unemployment. Because one of the goals of the current administration is to create employment opportunities for Nigeria.
Mr. Akubulekemi assured all indigenous operators in the maritime sector of Nimasa's commitment to protecting their rights under the cabotage regime. While commending the management of Ocean Marine Tankers Limited, owners of the vessels, for taking a bold step to invest in the Nigerian maritime sector, Mr. Akubulekemi urged more Nigerians to invest in the ownership of ocean-going vessels, adding that the President Jonathan Goodluck administration has provided an enabling environment for the growth of the maritime sector via the transformation agenda.
It has been said repeatedly, which have discountenanced, which have disagreed, that Nigerians lack the capacity. The commissioning of these two vessels is a confirmation that Nigerians have the capacity to go places. It is also a testimony to say that the maritime administration will vigorously pursue the cabotage regime. On our act, Nigerians ought to lift at least 50% of the crude. We have been canvassing for that position. It's a matter of law, it's an obligation in our statutory books, and we are not going to rest until that is achieved.
Special Assistant to President Jonathan on Maritime Affairs, Mr. Leke Oyewole, also had encouraging words for Ocean Marine Tankers Limited.
Critics have said If Nigerians truly have what it takes to carry the Nigerian cargo, they should show it. MT Abiola and MT Ibinoza are here. They have shown it. The local people have shown it. Let the cargo descend. There are 245,000 metric ton vessels to carry the Nigerian cargo. These ships will arrive Nigeria once again at the international harbors. Today, our hope is restored and our dream has rang true. With these ships, Nigerians can reduce the freight paid to foreign shipping lines by about $60,000 a day.
ISON chairman Isaac Jolakpamo was also at the event, and he was very impressed with the acquisition of the new vessels.
What has happened today is a signal of good things to come. When you have credible people that are coming into shipping, then we know that we are really getting it right. In the past, it's been I want to do it for some other reasons or some other motives. Today, we are beginning to see serious people who are credible Nigerians, who have ventured into this, and in less than no time, what we talk about capacity and capability will be met.
In another speech by the Executive Secretary of the Nigerian Local Content Development Monitoring Board, Engineer Enes Nwakpa commended the Johnson administration for providing the political muscle to break the monopoly enjoyed by foreign flag vessels in the freights of Nigerian crude.
Since President Goodluck Ebele Jonathan signed the Nigerian Content Act in 2010, the oil and gas industry has never been the same again. It appeared as if this was the trigger Nigerians needed to unlock the pent-up energy and innovative spirit they possessed. The changes in the industry today from these local content initiatives are evident in all aspects of our industrial activity. We see Nigerian companies dominating the landscape in all areas with tremendous impact on the national economy. We're looking at this company today with 245,000 ton tankers. We know that the future will bring VLCCs into their company, and we pray that God guides them in that direction.
After Engineer Nwakpa's speech, it was time to do the symbolic commissioning with the champagne model.
Now, there was a time in Nigeria where the railway was a viable means of transportation, but we all know that there was a point where things deteriorated. However, there is good news. There's a brand new day. After a decade, you can now ship your goods directly from the Apapa ports to the far north via our railways. We have that report for you now.
The era of container rail haulage from the Apapa ports to destinations in the far north of Nigeria has returned after a 10-year hiatus due to poor infrastructure, which has since been addressed with the rehabilitation of the western line of the Nigerian Railway Corporation (NRC) in conjunction with APM Terminals, a port concessionaire at the Apapa port, as well as Inland Container Nigeria Limited (ICNL), at an impressive ceremony held at the APM port terminals within the Apapa port complex in Lagos. The occasion had in attendance the chairman of the board of the Railway Corporation, Alhaji Kawu Baraje, the managing director of the NRC, Mr. Adeshe Sijuade, members of the National Assembly, members of the Railway Board, and other invited guests. The ceremony, at which 4 brand new locomotives along with 2 telescopic cranes were launched, was addressed by the managing director of the Nigerian Railway Corporation, Mr. Adeshe Sijuade.
Today, through the courtesy of our guests, partnership, I say this because it's a very new one, with APM Terminal and ICNL, the Honorable Minister of Transport is flagging off the reinstatement of container haulage train services from Apapa to the depots of the ICNL in Kaduna and Kano. Also today, we are commissioning 2 brand new 100 tons telescopic cranes along with 4 brand new 1800 horsepower locomotives.
Alhaji Kawu Baraje, the corporation's chairman who represented the Honorable Minister of Transport, Senator Idris Umar, also spoke at the occasion.
I promised Nigerians that before the end of the year, we are going to bring in 2 more additional locomotives. Today we are bringing in 4. We also promised Nigerians, and I am repeating that promise to the good people of Nigerians today, that by December this year, working with the able and professionals that are heading and working day and night in the railway, we will deliver 200 additional wagons that will transport people. This is in accordance and in making it real that the administration of President Goodluck Jonathan is working.
Recently, the Fiscal Responsibility Commission Abuja organized a 3-day training workshop for the management staff of Nimasa. This was to enable the agency to better understand the provisions of the Fiscal Responsibility Act of 2007. Our field correspondent Amanda Akman was there and presents her report.
A 3-day workshop on Fiscal Responsibility Act 2007 was recently organized by the Fiscal Responsibility Commission for management staff of the Nigerian Maritime Administration and Safety Agency Nimasa in Lagos, Nigeria. The collaboration between the 2 agencies was necessary for the maximization of scarce financial resources. The forum was also to align the Nimasa's strategic financial management objectives with the President Goodluck Jonathan's commitment to an enduring fiscal responsibility regime in the Nigerian public sector. The training started with a speech by the Chairman Board of Director Nimasa, Mr. Agbo Kefas, which was read by the Executive Director Finance and Admin of Nimasa, Mr. Haruna Baba Jauru. He noted that the Fiscal Responsibility Commission identifying with Nimasa through the interactive workshop with a view to give rise to committed and transparent budget process, management accounting, revenue and remittance reporting in line with the Fiscal Responsibility Act 2007 will enable the agency to better understand the provision of the acts.
When this management in Nimasa came to be, we discovered that we are really having challenges in responding to the needs of the Fiscal Responsibility Commission. And after visiting the Commission on 2 or 3 occasions, we discovered that it is necessary for us to have such a forum so that we can understand better the provisions of the Act. We can understand better our portion of the work that needs to be done. We understand better how we can report and how we can be citizens that are obedient to the provisions of the laws of the land.
He assured the team from the Fiscal Responsibility Commission that the management executives of the agency present at the forum would take back new templates for financial controls, budget formulations, and more ideas that will enable them handle competing capital projects of the agency. After the ED speech, Dr. Silvanus Modi, who represented the Chairman Fiscal Responsibility Commission, Dr. Jibril Aliyu Yalwa, at the training, read the keynote address to the participants. In his address, he laid emphasis on the reason for the establishment of the Fiscal Responsibility Commission Act 2007.
In 2005, Nigeria became so indebted that it could neither pay back nor reschedule its debt. he could not even borrow more. Besides the debt, overhang and vulnerability, the levels of accountability and transparency in fiscal operations were at their lowest. The reform of public finance management, which commenced in about 2004 or thereabout, resulted in the promulgation of the Fiscal Responsibility Act, FRA, in 2007, and the establishment of the Fiscal Responsibility Commission, FRC, to enforce that act.
Since its inception over 4 years ago, the FRC has found that some ministries, departments and agencies, MDAs, were not complying fully with the provisions of the Act. The reason for non-compliance, they say, can be linked to limited awareness of the provision of the Act and technical skill to comply. Hence, the FRC embarks on workshop programs for various MDAs across Nigeria. In another development, the Assistant Head Legal Unit of FRC, Mr. Charles Abana, came forward to make a presentation on the overview of the Fiscal Responsibility Act 2007. In his presentation, he focused on the meaning of the fiscal responsibility and why the act was enacted.
The word fiscal is generally defined in the Black's Law Dictionary, Centenary Edition, as relating to financial matters, something to do with money, with taxes, public revenue, or revenue belonging to the public treasury. These are all encompassed under the word fiscal. We're talking about responsibility now. The state of being answerable to an obligation and includes judgment, skill, capacity, and ability.
Barrister Abana also briefed participants on some of the contents of the Act, such as Medium-Term Expenditure Framework, MTEF, annual budget, budgetary planning of corporations and budgetary executions, and achievement of targets and enforcements. The workshop organized for Nimasa by the FRC, if well implemented, will secure macroeconomic stability of the Nigerian economy, prudent management of national resources, and ensure accountability and transparency in fiscal operations.
The Executive Office of the Director General of the Nigerian Maritime Administration and Safety Agency was the venue of the recent promotion decoration ceremony of a dedicated naval member of the Marine Guard Command. Lieutenant Terzungwe Avioko, the unit's operations officer in charge of the Resource Center and Western Zone of Nimasa's Marine Guard Command, was promoted from the rank of sub-lieutenant to full lieutenant. The DG of Nimasa was on hand, and under the watchful eyes of the Naval Commander of the Marine Guard Command, Navy Captain Olotu, and other senior naval officers, and also with the assistance of Mrs. Dufan Avioko, the officer's wife, decorated Lieutenant Avioko with his new rank. The DG of Nimasa, Mr. Ziakede Patrick Akpobulokemi, used the opportunity to express the agency's appreciation for Lieutenant Avioko and the Nigerian Navy's contribution to maritime safety.
We know that God is going to take you higher and higher. Continue to work for the peace, progress, and unity of this country. We do appreciate your contributions in Nimasa, particularly in the area of maritime safety, maritime security. And you know the Nigerian Maritime Administration and Safety Agency is relied strongly on the partnership with the Nigerian Navy in keeping peace in our waterways.
The newly promoted Lieutenant Avioko then responded and paid glowing tribute to Nimasa, the Director General, and the Marine Guard Commander, Navy Captain Olotu.
So since I resumed in Nimasa 2011, you have actually provided an enabling environment for me to work. And I feel that any other thing I have done to Nimasa is the good working relationship that you have provided. So I say thank you very much for that opportunity. I thank everyone that is here, especially my commander, who has been like a tutor to me.
Finally, the commander of the Marine Guard Command, Navy Captain Olotu, spoke and once again pledged to continue to serve the national interest on behalf of the officers and men of the Marine Guard Command.
We pledge our support, we pledge our loyalty to the nation, to our service and to you, to the agency. And we'll continue to do our best to ensure that the agency achieves its mandate as enshrined in its act and in the Constitution. And we promise that we will not relent, we will not let our guards down.
Now that is our show for this week. As always, we hope we kept you educated and informed. Now please don't forget, Nimasa This Week is an interactive show. We want to respond to your questions, your comments, and even your criticisms. All you need to do is to send an email to the address currently showing on your screen. Now I'm going to be here same time, same station next week. Until then, we're wishing you smooth sailing and bon voyage.